Hi, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this opportunity to use digital flashcards from Mathagon. The flashcards are under the title Multiplication by Heart. You can go to mathagon.org, click on the activities, and under activities, you'll see Multiplication by Heart. If you log in and create an account, they will keep track of your progress. And this wonderful thing is that they will show you the they'll show you the multiplication not just as numbers, but also as a concept. So they show you 5 times 3 representing 5 groups of 3. And so like when I put in an answer, 15, I'm going to hit enter and I want you to look and see what happens. It happens for just a splash. Did you see how they did the little counting by threes where they said 3, 6, 9, 12, 15? Of course, that is not accurate for this screen, but counting 5 times 4, that's 5 groups of 4. So there's 4, 8, and 4 more is 12, and 4 more is 16, and 4 more is 20. So I put in 20 and watch, it'll show you those counts. Okay. So I want to show you just a couple of features of this. This is based on a concept called spaced repetition, which is a way of incorporating things into memory. And it basically says you shouldn't review all of the flashcards every day. You should review the flashcards until they feel like you remember them, and then you should put them aside until you're about to forget them. And you should review them actually right when you're about to forget them, which sounds kind of impossible, but you can get a good approximation to this just by having a plan for how you space out how often a card comes back to you. And so without getting into the particulars of exactly how they do it, basically there's these different boxes here. So box A is the cards that either you have never seen before or the ones that you've gotten wrong in previous practices. So those are the ones that are sort of more frequently practiced. And then after you get cards right, they go into box B, and there's a little bit more space before you see the box B cards. And once you get those right, they go into box C, and there's a little bit of space C between the times you see box C cards. And this progresses. So maybe box A, you would see some cards from box A every day, and then maybe some cards from box B every 2 days, and some cards from box C every 4 days, and box D maybe every 8 days, and so on. And anytime you get a card wrong, so if I'm reviewing something in box C and I get it wrong, then it would go back to box A. So that would mean, there's a card that I need to review more often. So I'll show you this. So this is another representation of 5 times 4. We see 5 groups of 4 if I go by columns, or we see 4 groups of 5 if I go by rows. So this is another representation that tells me meaning to this. And you can see here it's in box A. And when I put in 20, I want you to take a look down here. And what's going to happen is one card is going to be moved out of box A and it's going to be moved into box B. So this should go down to 21 cards left in box A, and this should go up to 36 cards now in box B. Let's see what happens. Okay. So 3 times 3 again is in box A. So I go like this. And let's see what happens if I get one wrong. This is in box A. There's 20 cards in box A. What if I get this wrong? It says, nope, try again. So I'm going to try it again. And let's see our count. There's 20 in box A and 37 in box B. Let's see if anything changes. Nothing changed. The program decided that I needed to probably review that again tomorrow. Okay, so again, you don't actually have to know how it's working. I just kind of wanted to let you know that there is some real thought and actually some real science into how memories work that goes into how these are actually programmed. But the cards have a really nice visual representation of the concept of multiplication, and they're pretty minimal. Like I showed up today and there were 35 cards, which if I was to just sit down and do them without talking to you like this, then that would probably take me about 5 minutes to just run through them as like part of my daily routine. I'm just going to sit down and practice my my flashcards, and if I get them right or I get them wrong, I don't really worry about that. I just let the computer decide when I'm going to see that card again. And it has an algorithm that is not perfect, but is kind of better than just making up some random schedule of how often you're going to look at this card. Okay, so if you like this, I recommend using it. And if you don't have any use for it, then don't use it. But I think it's a really nice way to practice your multiplication.